Hey everyone, Captain Amazing here, and today we are going to do Challenge Tier 3 and 2 for Military Might with CLS Rebels for Challenge Tier 3 and Phoenix for Challenge Tier 2. So let's jump into it. So when you first go in, you're going to have to shoot first because Han shoots first. That's just the mechanics, right? So they're going to take a few turns. So you're going to use the event special on each of the team members as you go. What it's going to do is it's going to allow you to be able to do additional assists. So it has a bunch of other abilities. It doesn't really matter, but you're going to smash that event ability on every single player. You can see they have the locked retribution. And now whenever they assist, they have a 50% chance to assist again for the entirety of the fight. So you only have to hit it once. And then from there, believe it or not, you can just like slam it on auto. I did not pay attention at all when this was playing through. It was playing on my phone. I wasn't even looking at it. So this is the first time actually seeing the footage. So I didn't control any of this. I literally just threw it on auto. If you have lower relics, you can try to play it through if you want to try to make it a little more efficiently. But as long as you have relic 3 and you hit those event specials, that's all you have to do in the beginning. There, I did stop at the 7th wave and played it manually, I believe, because I wanted to ensure that call to action wasn't on Luke, because I want that additional tenacity, like I'll describe once later on once I talk about my mods. But it's very important to have call to action so that you have that additional tenacity, so that you can't get controlled when you're facing against Vader and Palpatine. So I'm just again, this is just auto. It's just playing. Very, very simple, basic, and this is why I like Chewie's Rage. Very strong Zeta. So, but you can die on phase 4 if you have bad enough luck. Then one of your teammates can die. If that happens, just kind of restart it. This runs through very, very quickly. So even though these guys have crazy speeds, the turn meter mechanics on CLS and the team are so strong that you pretty much just take non-stop turns. And then once they do take turns, they just get countered to death. So it's very, very easy once you're playing this through, and as long as you use that event special in the very beginning. So we're still playing this on manually and getting through it very, very quickly. And a lot of these phases just aren't very difficult. So, and as you can see, Chewie's Rage stacks from the beginning phase, so he does all 5 hits of those 5 hits. So that's really nice. So you don't have to charge up his attack pretty much. So it makes it go by a lot quicker. And at this point, once I went to phase 7, I'm pretty sure I started playing on manual here. As you can see right now, Luke does not have call to action. So I wanted him to remain not having that, because if you do have it, then you won't have that additional tenacity that's being spread around from Chupio, and then the team can get controlled, and then you can have some bad RNG and lose, possibly get some people stunned, and then Vader goes around and just kind of like kills people, and Thrawn will fracture someone, and that's just like how bad RNG would play out. But if I had it on on auto right now, then Luke would have done call to action, and I would have went into the 8th phase without it. So at this point, I'm just using the basics, so I have all my abilities available for the next round. And then for this one, so I went through pretty quickly, I think because of my relics, but if you aren't, and the enemy takes some turns, just know that as long as you have that event special and no call to action on Luke, you should counter them to death. And as you can see, that shock did land, which isn't great, not the biggest of deal, but you don't want any of these debuffs to land. So I'm going to cleanse all the taunts on the guards so that I can kill Vader. And then I'm going on to Thrawn. He almost dies right there. Hopefully I can get to Chewie's Rage or something, and actually no taunts, so I was able to kill him right away. And then now I'm stuck behind a taunt, and I can use Chewie's Rage here, finish off Palpatine, and from here it's a win. So you can just, if you wanted to, you can slap it on auto, but very, very easy. So I didn't have to worry about tenacity that much. But if you don't have the relics or the mods, or you have lower gear, then you just know that it's very, very important to go without call to action and hit those specials in the beginning, and you'll run through this very, very quickly. So that was CT3 for CLS Rebels for the 3 stars. So let's go ahead and jump in and see how what these mods are, and then I'll show you the Phoenix fight for Challenge Tier 2. CLS, 3PO and TruePO, C3PO, Han Solo, Chewbacca is ideal. You absolutely do not need this level of investment that is here. So you can do it with much less. I would say the zetas for CLS is probably necessary. Han shoot first, you should have anyways. 3PO and TruePO is nice. I do think the loyal friend is very, very helpful. If you don't have that, you could get worn down, like they could possibly die. And then C3POs is not absolutely necessary. It is a good zeta overall, so you should have it. But if you didn't have it, it may not be the end of the world. So I do want to talk about how to properly mod these characters. So the lower gear you have, the better mods you'll need. And the fundamentals of the team is with CLS, they do with learn control, you have 100% tenacity when you are in when you don't have call to action. How you get call to action is this: you use this, so you can turn on and off call to action, and we'll talk about that later. But essentially, when you don't have call to action, you will have 100% tenacity, which it's not important until the last phase. Because if Darth Vader and Palpatine start taking turns, if they stun your whole team, if he lands a bunch of those dots and he heals himself up, that could be a problem and you could lose, because Vader could just go around, start killing everyone, and then if you're all stunned, you're not counterattacking. So you want to have that tenacity in there so that your team stays uncontrolled and you're able to counterattack and kill them. So the mods that you're going to look for is, for CLS, you do want a offense and tenacity set. So you can have offense here, it doesn't have to be tenacity, but you want him to have some amount of tenacity as well. So he is going to have extra tenacity, so he'll have 190% tenacity. And 3PO and TruePO is going to share that tenacity. So with the I must tell all others, so if the allied leader is a non-galactic legend rebel, 3PO and TruePO gain 40% of the leader's max health, 40 max protection, offense, defense potency, and tenacity at the start of the first encounter, and rebel allies gain half that amount. So what that means is you're going to gain like offense, tenacity, all these stats you're going to gain, but that tenacity is important. So you do mod TruePO exactly the same as how you would mod CLS. And then C3PO, you're just going to want speed and tenacity, Han Solo crit damage, and then Chewbacca all tenacity so he can't get controlled. The overall speed of the team isn't hugely important. So I do have a good amount of speed, so 300 speed on CLS. TruePO is a lot slower at 268. C3PO does not have good mods at 239. Han has 303. And then Chewbacca has 277 with 133% tenacity. And again, these mods and the level of relics aren't entirely necessary for you to do this. It just helps. So I did this with everyone at relic 3, and I think gear 12 on 3PO and TruePO, and I may or may not have had 3PO's zeta at that time. So when I first did this, it was not very hard. It took me like a few retries. I had pretty much the same mods, a lot less speed on Han Solo. Since then, I ended up speeding him up a lot more, just upgrading his mods. But overall, you don't need that much because of the turn meter mechanics that happen in the team with how the team works. Like it's gonna run pretty quickly even without all that speed. So for challenge tier 2, I did play it out. I did not do it on manual. So I'm doing the same thing that I did for the Phoenix team. I don't think it's as important here because it takes a while for them to get going. And if you're having trouble surviving the initial volley, try skipping out on the special. But I did use the event special on every single character as I went through. And I do want some more assists, especially if I can get some more assists on Chopper. That gives me more chances to lower my abilities. So the more basics I get from Chopper, the more specials I can do, and I don't run out of steam for this turn meter train. And as you can see, these guys, even for challenge tier 2, are pretty fast, so I'm not getting a lot of turns. So I'm going through using the event special on everyone. Once I do that, then I can start using my events here, so are my abilities, and that's going to start juicing up my turn meter, get everyone assisting here. So not bad at all. So at this point, it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to use all your special abilities every time you can. When you have someone to target, you're going to target Captain Rex, and you're just going to blow through the opponent. So as you can see, they die pretty quick. We're having pretty good survivability. No one's in danger. So this, I played it one time. I played it on manual, and they're pretty much countering to death. In challenge tier 3, so I did die, so I wasn't able to sustain the players with these counters. As you can see, they're healing a little bit, but in challenge tier 3 they dealt too much damage, and I wasn't able to like keep that train meter going. Let me know in the comments if you were able to do it, but I was not able to get it to work for challenge tier 3, but was very easy in challenge tier 2 to continue and have pretty much the entire time just having specials and just working everyone down. If I did control someone, I did try to focus on the other ones. If non-tanks go down really quickly, tanks not so much. And as you can see, the stagger isn't incredibly important in these other rounds. Like, yeah, it does help, and a few people were staggered here, but I don't think it's make or break as much as because if these guys attack, we have the sustain. Maybe on the final phase it helps to be able to do that, but as I was playing through, I didn't feel like stagger was so incredibly important that it couldn't be done here. So again, phase 4 can be a little dangerous with these death troopers. So having days on everyone, tenacity down, and then working through these 2 tanks as fast as possible. Once you do, the death troopers pretty much go down really quickly. Tanks have a lot of health, so you just have to work them. But as you can see, my team is very healthy. I never, at this point, the entirety of once I start getting going, I never really felt in danger. In the beginning, in the very beginning, it feels a bit jank, but other than that, like, no problems whatsoever. And as you can see, if you're attacking non-tanks, they die in like 1 or 2 volleys. So very easy. And you can see the additional assists happening here, which is really nice. So just getting those assists going, getting more turn meter, getting more damage out there. So some of these phases are just like 5, 6, 7. There's no 7 has a little bit of a threat, but this is just a tank phase, not a big deal. So I run through it very quickly. And as you can see, I'm almost even to like full health, because I'm taking, once that turn meter starts going, I'm pretty much, and I'm able to put those staggers out there for those who do get it. I'm able to kind of like keep that loop going and have some pretty good turn meter gains here. So no real issue. So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of like spreading damage. You don't have to. You can, if you want, take down one after another. But if I take them down and they're stunned, then I don't see a reason to kind of like focus him and waste. I can kill them with AoEs, and that's why I'm kind of like working through and not finishing them off, because the AoEs are going to pretty much finish off those guys, as you can see. And that's why I'm doing that. I do have to focus the ones that are taunting, the one that did get their taunts off, because I literally can't. So on this one, I would rather target someone else, but I literally can't. So, and now I'm just gonna like work through these 2 and finish them off pretty quickly. And as you can see there, I got the event specials giving me some extra assists with Chopper, which is super nice. So that's what you want, is you want to lower everyone as much as possible. So here, I'm just gonna put days on everyone, and then I'm gonna start working those side ones as much as possible because again, they're really weak. And as you saw, like I stunned that scout trooper, so I moved on to the next one, and then this guy's almost dead, and he would die to either an AoE or a counter. So I figured I would just keep him alive for now. And then now I just have to continue to cycle through this tank. They take a little more hits than the other ones. And that's it for this phase. Now we're to phase 7 out of 8. So for phase 7 out of 8, they have this one tank. There's nothing you can do. Just put days out there and start working through. Ideally, I would have liked a stagger for that one, so I can stagger these guys and then have no one take a turn for this phase. It just didn't work out that way. Sometimes you do run out of specials. It's not that big of a deal. And so now I'm just going to work through this Death Trooper here because he does pretty much the most damage and does max healing down. So I'm going to work through Magma Trooper now, kill him through that. General Veers is my next priority target after I kill Death Trooper. And now I'm just going to work through. And at this point, I'm like pretty much full health. As you can see, very safe, very reliable, very easy. If you have pretty much like just decent mods on Rex here. So at this point, it's the final phase. They did get one stun on Sabine, which wasn't great. So I did want to kill Vader as fast as possible. So I'm gonna go for him. He's honestly the threat here, or the biggest threat. So it would be a problem if Thrawn fractured Rex, and then once you pretty much we don't have a reliable dispel like the CLS Rebels do. So at this point, Sabine's AoEs and the staggers are really important to make sure that no one takes a turn. So here I stagger Vader so he can't take his turn because he was about to, and if he did, then he would probably put a bunch of dots out there, heal, he could possibly kill someone. So I do have to work through all of these tanks just to be able to get to everyone else. But with the team, if you can see, like they don't have any turn meter. I'm very safe. I'm working through them. I have days on Vader. I don't even have to target him here. He's going to die to an AoE. And then I'm going to start working down Thrawn because I don't want him to fracture anyone. But at this point, it's a win. So very easy. That's the strategy I used for these two. If you have any way that you did it differently, or if this helped you out, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, stick around and I'll show you the mods and the strategy for this team. This is the Phoenix squad for CT2. This team does not have the juice for CT3. You just kind of peter out. You're not going to have the survivability. Maybe with like extreme mods and relic levels, but I was not able to get it to work. But this can handle CT2 for military might. It can also do CT2 for the Night Sisters one, but it's not a 3-star. So this is the mods that I have for Hera. She does have her Zeta 262 speed. So for Rex, he does have 340 speed. He's the one who drives the train a lot of times. So for Sabine, she's only 262. She's modded pretty much for damage. It's really important to have her. Well, normally it would be to have the exposed damage here. I don't know if it's as important here. It definitely does help to have that Zeta. Maybe optional, but the Zeta is, in my opinion, was really useful to put out those staggers out there. So maybe not. I do have the Zeta for Kanan. He only has 199 speed, so not too much. And then Chopper doesn't have a Zeta. He just assists. He has 272 speed. The key here is he's reducing cooldowns every time you assist, so that makes it a lot very that's how you get the turn meter train going, and makes it very smooth. So this is the team I use to 3-star for CT2, and an option if you don't have CLS Rebels yet. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.